Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Cool Colas here to bring you the hustler's perspective. I know it's been a while since you've seen me. I hope everybody's having a good day, and I know you guys probably missed me, so now I'm back. I'm gonna kind of put out some videos here. It's gonna be semi-frequently. I've just been really busy with work and stuff like that, and just kind of getting together some other projects as well. But yeah, I won't kind of rant too much longer. I just want to kind of just inform you all on what's been going on in my life, and just so you know that I'm still here making videos, and I'm still kind of like dedicated to getting those out to you and trying to get the best information to you possible. So, the topic I want to talk to you all about today is mystery shopping, but more so how I made my money mystery shopping. And I made approximately about $500 mystery shopping back in 2017. So, let me kind of go into it. The first thing is, I want you all to understand that side hustles, again, are never easy. It's work as well too, just like any other job or anything like that. But mystery shopping is just one of those that's kind of like special because a lot of people don't really know about it, and a lot of people don't know what it entails. I may have spoke, I think, about it in an earlier video, but I didn't really go into depth the way that I'm going into it right now. So I want to kind of give you some suggestions and some things that have worked for me and things that I have made money off of from doing, or companies I guess I made money off of from doing mystery shops, and then kind of just going into those details because it can be very profitable for you. So, to make a long story short, the reason why I got into mystery shopping was, well, back in 2016 actually, was because I had lost my job, and I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to make my income. And I guess as far as like unemployment goes, this is for 2017. I was running out because I had trouble trying to find a job from after losing it, and I lost two jobs actually at that time. So like I said, I need another side hustle kind of idea. Again, I started in 2016, and I did a couple things there, but it wasn't as profitable for me in 16 as it was for 17, just because I kind of was just getting my feet wet. But now I have a pretty good handle on what I was doing. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of give a list here of some mystery shop companies that I feel are legitimate, from my experience. And again, like anything that I post on here and anything that I say on here is not anything that's going to lead you astray, is going to be illegitimate, going to be a scam or anything like that. And my feeling is this: if you don't take risk, if you don't do things, you will never get out of your comfort zone. You will never be a different person if you don't go out and you don't try different things. With mystery shopping, it's one of those. It's like independent contractor. I won't say position, but kind of like work job. I don't know how to describe it. It's an independent contractor position, but essentially, you're going to be responsible for your taxes. So basically, the mileage and gas and things like that are things that you can write off, at the end of the year. But basically, you're just kind of responsible for paying back those taxes off of the money that you make from being a mystery shopper. So to kind of go into it a little bit, here are some of the sites that I feel have made me money. Not I feel, they have made me money. They helped me to make, like I said, about 500, I think almost even $600, just from just doing different shops. So the first site that I want to talk about here is Bestmark. Bestmark is an awesome site because it allows a person to not only just do in-person shops, but you can also do shops on the phone. I actually recommend shops on the phone more than I would the ones in person. The reason why I say this is because a lot of times you're gonna have to drive to that destination. With me, I used to live in the Grand Rapids area, Comstock Park specifically, so I would have to go in the proximity of anything that was within Comstock Park, and sometimes I'd be driving far, sometimes I'd be driving 30 miles just to, just do a mystery shop that was worth maybe $17. But all in all, I had a pretty good car that was good on gas, so I was able to get from A to B without, expending too much gas. So I guess that was the benefit of that procedure. So yeah, Bestmark is good. Again, like the phone shops that I did were, I think they were somewhere between $3 and $5 a piece. If you're lucky, it'll be about five, but generally there'll be about $3. That doesn't sound like a lot, but again, having money is better than no money. It's just a couple seconds, like you just, do a phone call, and then you're going to write up a report, and then that's the end of it. And you can do the ones in person. In my opinion, I think that a lot of the shops they did were like car based, so they did a lot of car related work. So yeah, that was what Best Mark kind of did. So basically, just going to dealerships and things like that. The second one is IntelliShop. IntelliShop is very similar to Bestmark in what it did shop wise, but it was always also very profitable. But one more thing I want to say about Bestmark compared to IntelliShop is Bestmark, they would pay you very quickly. They would pay you within 2 weeks. I think it was every 2 weeks on a Friday, basically. And so IntelliShop's a little different because you don't get paid for an entire month. So basically, you could do a shop. I think if, let's say that you do a shop January the 14th, that means that you're going to get paid that next month, like in February, I think around the 15th. But if you do it after that, you're not going to get paid until the following month. So that's kind of how it works. So if you do it let's say you do it on the 16th, then you might not even get paid till March. So that's why I said you have to be careful with those because you won't get paid for a while, but they are more profitable. Car shops generally can go to anywhere between $20 and $35 depending on what you're doing. I've seen the motorcycle shops get all the way to like $35-$40. Like if you go in and you inquire about a motorcycle, like I said, car shops have been somewhere around the 20s. They do have phone shops as well too, where you can call schools and things like that. Those shops are generally around anywhere between $7 to $10. It can really vary, like I said. It also really depends on your area. I mean, I imagine if you live in a pretty decent area where there's a lot of people and a lot of nearby bigger cities, then it'd probably be easier for you to pick up some work. Whereas me, I lived in, like I said, Comstock Park, Grand Rapids, which is a semi-big-ish city. And when I say semi-big-ish, I mean I'm describing a city that's like almost 200,000 people, 200K. Right now I live in Kalamazoo, so it's even less than that. It's a little less than 100K. So if you live in a pretty big area, then finding work shouldn't be too hard for you. Again, I recommend the phone shops. And then with IntelliShop, you can actually go in and you can either, like some shops, you can self-assign. So you can go in, you can just sign yourself up for it and then just go do it and then do the report. They actually give you a few days, give or take, to actually finish it even beyond the date. Again, I'm not encouraging you to turn your stuff in late. I'm just saying that they're a little bit more lenient. Bestmark is very strict. If you don't do it at the exact day, at the exact time that they ask for, unless you ask for an extension, they will mark you down. They will cancel your shop. So you definitely want to stay on top of that. IntelliShop, again, they'll do the same thing, but it won't be, as strict. And they give you citations like when you don't do certain shops. And you want to make sure that your rating is as high as possible so that you can prove that you're reliable in order to do these shops. The third one that kind of gave me some luck was Second to None. Second to None was pretty good because you can go into a lot of like retail stores and things like that and do shops there, whether it's like hunting gear, whether it's like sports gear at a sports gear store or things like that. Their shops pay pretty decently. I mean, I made about $13 for going to a sports store in the past before and doing a shop there. And then like sometimes they require you to do purchases, which aren't always ideal, but it can be helpful too because of the fact that they do pay you back. So it's like you're getting like free stuff. So some of these places, they'll like have you go into a restaurant or something like that, and they may say, hey, you may need to go with your girlfriend or your friend or your boyfriend or whoever, and one of you needs to buy a burger, one of you needs to buy a pizza, just giving you an example, and then you need to get a certain type, and then you get the receipt, you take a picture of the receipt, and they reimburse you. So it's like you got dinner paid for and you got paid, because then you get paid on top of that too. So those are pretty cool as well, especially if like you're hungry and you had planned to go out to eat anyway and you couldn't make up your mind. I mean, and you know how like a lot of girls do, and like no offense, I'm not trying to offend any like of the women out there, but I just got to say this because everybody knows this is funny. Like especially for those girls out there who are like, oh, I don't know what to eat. Like you ask them what do they want, and they're like, I don't know. Like you pick. Like what do you want? And it's like you keep going through that. You can go and you got that mystery shop right there, and you can say, "Hey, well, let's go to so and so, and you can get this and yada yada yada." I'm just throwing that out there because I know a lot of like women they don't know what they want to eat when you ask them. But anyway, so the fourth one is Shopper's View. Shopper's View is a really cool one. That one deals with like banking and things like that. So, for example, you could go on the internet and you can inquire about some service that you may need from your bank, and then like I think shops like those, you get paid somewhere around about $3 to $6 depending on what it is. Sometimes it requires an email inquiry, which I think those are like $4. That's my guess. Chat shops I think are around like $6, but yeah, like it's usually like around that range. And then Shopper's View is set up just like IntelliShop actually. Shopper's View does the same thing. Like, you get citations if you don't turn it in time, but they actually pay you quicker. Shopper's View has paid me within 2 to 3 weeks. So within that time frame, which was I think pretty reasonable, they were able to give me the money that I made from what I had done. The last one I think that's really cool is the Brand Group. The Brand Group is really cool because that's one where like you can go into temp agencies and temp services and then sign yourself up. And let's say you don't have a job like I didn't at the time, I could sign myself up at a temp agency, and then they could refer me to different jobs or different things that they were hiring for in that area. Like, maybe you need like a quick factory job or something like that, and you want to make maybe a quick $13 an hour, and you want to do some assignments here and there. Like, it's also good for that. And you get paid for those, and those can be very lucrative. I think if I remember correctly, that the brand shops to go in there were paying somewhere around $35, pretty much a pop. Like anytime you went in, and then you kind of wrote and you kind of filled in the description for everything. So those are pretty cool too. I made some nice money off of that. But here's some things that you need to keep in mind when you're mystery shopping. You need to be detail oriented. You have to be detail oriented. That is a must. You need to pay attention to who the person is you're talking to, what their what their name is, what they look like. You know what I mean? Like, is it a female? Is she black? Is she white? Does she have red hair? Does she have brown hair, black hair? Does she have how tall is she? How does she approach you? How or if it's a man, how does he approach you? Does he greet you correctly? Does he greet you in a timely manner? So that's another thing. You need to be very timely. You need to know when you walk in. You need to know when you walk out. You need to have an idea of how long it took for them to respond to you if you went into a place and like you wanted somebody to come in and they wanted to do a service for you. You need to be able to kind of like do those things like in a detail-oriented fashion when you're like reporting stuff, because you don't want to leave things out when you are doing these. So that's, like I said, that's very important. Like I said, you also want to be observant. You want to see everything that's going on around you, how service is done, how people are treated, the way the bathrooms look when you go into the bathroom, because a lot of them will ask you to go into bathrooms and then check them out and see how they are. You want to see how the closing is. You want to be observant of like if they give you a card or they extend the invitation for you to come back in. If you're going to a store, that is. You just want to see how you're treated. And another thing too is you need to be a great note taker, but a conspicuous note taker. So maybe do something like I've been on a shop before, and I told somebody before, hey, I was wondering if I could just just jot down a few things that you were saying, because I want to make sure I when I come back I have all the information correct and I can kind of stew it over. Just say something casual like that. You don't have to be all crazy like, oh, I got this notepad here and I'm just gonna start writing like right in front of you, and it's obvious that I'm doing something strange. Like, you can just, most of you all have smartphones, and then you can just, go on your notepad and maybe just take a few notes. And then, like I said, even if you feel strange about it, just do what I did and just say, hey, let me, can you repeat that, please? I just want to jot down a few things so I can kind of stew it over later. And then then you can even, they may even offer you a pamphlet, and they may say, hey, we have information, and you can go review this. And again, this is an example. If you go into like a retail store, or maybe you go into a car dealership or somewhere, they may do that with you. So, I guess to kind of break down what I said kind of at the beginning of the conversation, I made $600 within that year. And the way I made it was I did shops regularly. So I would always do phone shops. So with Bestmark, for example, I would do like those little $3 to $5 phone shops. I would sign myself up for about three a week. So just think about how that money adds up right there. Let's say that all my shops were $5, for example. Let's say I did three a week. That's $15 right there per week that I'm making. And then let's say that I did, and that's not every week that I did this. I'm just kind of giving you an example of what when it was available to me. I tried to do it. If you have $15 that you make in a week, and you're trying to figure out how much that is in a month, think about it. There's 4 weeks in most months, with the exception of like February, which is kind of weird. But then you're gonna make $60 at that point. So think about it. Think about what like if you have 60 times 12. Think about what that is. That, like, let's say that you were able to do that, you would have $720 a year just from just doing, like, signing yourself up for 3 Bestmark phone shops a week for $5. So that's why I said, like, you definitely want to get on this type of thing, because it's going to allow you to make some nice money on the side. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to take up a new job, I don't want to do this, I want to do that. You don't have to take up a second job. You can become a mystery shopper. You can, make some money on the side doing that. You could, like I said, like sign yourself up. Like if you get off of work on time and maybe go to a dealership or something like that, and then like figure out how they treat you there, and then like record all of the information that you have gotten from that, and then went on and then got some money from it. So a lot of the times, like I said, I would do the phone shops more than anything. But I went into a lot of dealerships. Like I said, I would do maybe I would do a couple from Bestmark. Like I said, I would do about 3 a week if the opportunity allowed me. From Bestmark. And then I would maybe do like 1 or 2 from IntelliShop, and I may go drive to a dealership or drive to a motorcycle shop. I remember sometime, I think it was last summer around like July, I did like a shop where I went into a restaurant with my actual fiance now and girlfriend at the time, and she I had her like purchase a certain item, and then I purchased a certain item, and I rated like the service. So I got approved for a shop that allowed me to go into a restaurant and buy food, and then I took a picture of the receipt, and then when I sent it in, with my payment came like the reimbursement for paying for the meal up front, and that, like I said, that was pretty cool. Again, like what I would do is I would keep like a notebook, and I would just keep a set schedule of who you're signed up with, the times that you have to do these shops, when these shops are due, and just things like that, and just keep an eye on those things. So I would just keep a notebook for that, and just keep a notebook for all of, like I said, like the notes that you take as you do these different shops. And again, like I know a lot of people who've made more than 500 doing this, or 600 doing this. There's people who have made like I would say low income livings from it. I won't say it's anything luxurious, because a lot of this stuff is very sporadic, and sporadic not in the sense of available work, but sporadic in a sense of the location might not be ideal for you, or there might not be any phone shops for you, or something like that. So like I said, you just want to kind of keep a notebook and keep track of the mystery shops that you do, because in the end it can be very lucrative for you if you really just pay attention to, like I said, some of the shops that are available to you. Again, the 5 that I named to you are the ones that I've have felt were the most reliable. If I had to pick one, I made the most money off of Brant consecutively, not Brant, a Bestmark consecutively, because of the fact that there were always shops available. There were always like phone calls that you could make, and there were always like places that you could drive. I would say in like one blow or one chunk, it would either have to be between IntelliShop and Brant, because IntelliShop has some pretty like cool shops that you can do, like you can go into like a nursing home, like like kind of like a hospice, and you can do shops like that. Those are usually pretty lucrative. For the Brant ones, like I said, all the ones where you were going to a staffing agency, they were always lucrative, so you can make money like that too. With me, I think with Brant at one point, I think I did like 2 different shops in a day, and they were like 35 each. So that was like $70 I made just from doing 2 shops in that day, and then like just taking some notes later and just jotting it down, like doing it during I guess like that next day or whatever. So again, like, if I made 70 there, and then I made like a ton from Bestmark from doing phone shops and car shops, second to none, I just did a couple here or there, maybe made, I don't know, like $30 on it, because I did like I think a $13 shop where I went into like I think it was a retail store, like a sports goods store or something like that. Then I did like a $7 shop where I'm trying to remember what I did. I want to say I went to well, no, that wasn't I'm thinking of something from a different shop. I think I made 17 from going into like a hunting store, so that was like about $30 there. And then I made like 7 from doing, or why am I thinking 7? Oh, I made 7 from like doing like one of those like Best Smart shops where like they and some, I forgot to mention that they do this. And Bestmark, like, it was a phone call, but it was one of those where like it was rushed, like they wanted somebody to do it immediately. So sometimes like they up the ante on like some of the shops, because they want people to kind of get it out the way, and they want them to do it immediately. So they try to, put extra money on it so people can do it like quick like that. So again, it's a good supplemental income. I feel it can help you out. You can make probably even more than 500 if you're really looking, and if that's like your main gig. Again, like, I wouldn't recommend it be your main gig, because it's not very reliable, and you're gonna have to do a lot of shops in order to make up that money to kind of like make yourself a living. I like it. As a matter of fact, I kind of wish it was a job of mine, and the reason why is because you don't. For me, I'm an ambivert. I I'm an extroverted person as far as being able to communicate, being able to speak, and not being socially inept. But I enjoy the comforts of my own home. I enjoy being alone or with my fiance, but I don't really care for being around a lot of people. That's just my personality. And it's perfect because you don't have to deal with a ton of people on a day-to-day basis. You can deal maybe with one person up front, and then really you're faking a profile. So it's no need to get your feelings attached into it. Whereas your feelings may get attached in a regular job where it's you dealing with tons of people, tons of emotions, and the way you may have done something. So I enjoy that aspect of it. I enjoy the freedom of it, and then the timing and things like that. I think it's really cool. It allows you to kind of like make your own schedule and do things the way that you want to do them. If you have other stuff that you have to do, so I like that aspect about it. The last thing I want to kind of bring up to you all are recommendations, though, of things that I would get if you decide that you want to become a mystery shopper. For one, you're going to want an app that records your mileage, because sometimes you may travel a distance. Sometimes you may travel 20 miles. Sometimes you may travel 40 miles. I don't recommend it, but sometimes you may travel 40 miles. You don't know how long you're going to travel, so you always want to record your mileage, so when it comes time for taxes, you know how much you travel. And then if for whatever reason you have some issues with the IRS, you have that recording right there to show, hey, this is how long I travel, yada yada yada. So there's that, or how far I travel. So then also too, like I said, try to do cheaper jobs and apps that are related to phone work. That's another recommendation of mine. It's going to save you gas, it's going to save you time, it's going to save you energy, and you're still going to have some money, some like some cash to take with you. So I think that's really cool too. And another recommendation that I would say is like keep your receipts. Keep all of your like gas receipts, and like anytime you put gas in your car, because that's something that you're doing towards work. So that's like an independent contractor position. So you can always write your gas off as well too, because you're going to pay for that when you put every time you put it in your tank. And again, my last recommendation is don't make it your main source of income unless like you absolutely have to, because it's going to be just very difficult, and it's never going to be anything that's going to be secure. I mean, again, what is secure? No jobs are secure. Jobs are laying people off left and right. People aren't getting jobs. Business is all up to you, and how much you do or do not make it secure. But I guess the reason why I make that point is if you're looking for that as an escape, you're going to need something else I think to supplement it. It's possible to do it full time, but you're really going to have to kind of cut back on your expenses and things like that. So that's what I would say. And again, I hope that was very helpful for you, and that kind of gave you something new that you can try out, just from the words of a hustler who's done it and who's gotten comfortable with it from circumstance. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents. So if you like this video and you want to see more, like I said, feel free to subscribe to the Hustler's Perspective YouTube channel. There's going to be a lot more to come and a lot more to review. If you want to check us out on Facebook, or check me out on Facebook, you can go to the Hustler's Perspective YouTube channel, and you can type that in on Facebook. If you want to go to the page for my blog and more and other updates, you can go to the Hustler's Jackpot on Facebook. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, then you can go to the Hustler's Jackpot, or at the Hustler's Jackpot on Instagram. If you'd like to check out my website, you can go to hustlersjackpot.com. And if you would like to follow my personal page on Instagram, you can go to @coolcolas. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I promise that I will try my best to get more videos out to you. Oh, and by the way, I meant to tell you, there's a new channel alert. My fiance and I are going to be starting a channel soon talking about just show reviews. So if you're a person who's into superhero shows, superhero movies, anything superhero-ish, feel free to check it out. And that will be called Team Magnet. So keep that in mind. When it comes out, I'll give you more information. I just wanted to let you know that will be coming as well. But I wanted to kind of, again, just inform you on everything that's been going on and that will be going on going forward. Again, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you guys later. Keep hustling.